Hello everyone, my name is Jane and welcome to my second video in my fall special on my channel, my fall TBR. So basically I'm doing a fall special and all of my upcoming videos are going to be in fall themed. The first video was my fall book haul and if you haven't seen it yet you can check it here. But today I'm coming with my second video and this is my fall TBR. All the books that I really want to read in this fall, in this spooky season. And I have a lot of books, like a lot of books. I have a lot of horror, dark fantasy, also thrillers, all the perfect fall vibes books. Now I have more books that I really want to read this fall that were on my September TBR. I just didn't want to include them in this video so I wouldn't be repetitive. But honestly, those are the books that I'm most feeling right now. Just a lot of really spooky books and I'm so excited to show you what I want to read. Now because there is a lot of books, let's just start. And I think that let's start with the only dark academia book that I have on my TBR. I did read a few dark academia books before, but I didn't read a lot and I do really want to get more into dark academia this fall. And I have a lot of dark academia books on my TBR, but this is the one that I want to read the most. Like, I really want to get to it. This is Legendborn by Tracy Deonn. Now, this book been very hyped up last year. I think it's a part of a series and this is the first book. I'm not sure when the second book is going to be released. I really want to read it for so long. I just didn't go to it yet because it's pretty long. But basically in this story we're following a teenager and her mother passed away, so she's going to this school. I'm not sure if this is an academia, like university or a high school, but this is some kind of closed school where she also going to live. But in this school, in her first night, she witnesses some creature that kills someone. And then she is finding out that there is a secret society called Legendborn, and those society are trying to hunt those creatures. So this is dark academia fantasy. This is YA book, but a lot of people say that this is more of a new adult book. I know that the start is pretty slow, like I heard that the first half of the book is pretty slow, so I am ready for it. I also heard that the audiobook is really good, so I will probably try to read it in audio. I'm not sure, but this is definitely the dark academia that I want to get to the most. Just something here looks so interesting to me and I really hope to love it and to get to it really soon. Now the two next books are two books from a series and I talked about them in my book haul, and this is the first two books in the These Witches Don't Burn series by Isabel Sterling. The second book is This Coven Won't Break. Oh, this is the only contemporary romance that I have here. This is basically a YA fantasy contemporary and the main character of the story is a witch. This is the only book here with happy vibes that I'm feeling, if you understand what I mean. But basically it just sounds like a really fun high school story. This is a sapphic story. Main character of the story is sapphic. She just needs to hide her magic and nobody can know that she's a witch. I heard really good reviews about this book. I feel like it's perfect for fall. Even look at the covers, like it gives me such fall vibes. And yes, like witches in general, it gives me a lot of fall vibes. So I'm really hoping to love this series. I have a good feeling. So yes, I'm really excited to read it and I hope to love it. And now the rest of the books are mostly horror. I do have some dark fantasy and thriller, but most of them horror. And the next two books are actually horror books that I want to read for so long. They were on my TBR for a lot of times and I just didn't go to them. And honestly, those two are my most priority books out of this whole TBR. And the first one is Misery by Stephen King. Now, this is the edition in my native language. I think it looks cool, but yes, basically, Misery is following an author that was kidnapped by one of his fans, and this fan is locking him in a room and she is basically torturing him so he would continue writing the series that she really loves. It sounds like a really bizarre and creepy story, but especially I hear so many amazing reviews about this book. I actually didn't saw the movie because I really hate horror movies. Yes, I know that I love horror books. I don't know how it works, but I just feel like it would be really creepy and really scary psychological thriller horror. I'm really excited to get to it and I really hope to love it like everyone. I wish that I would love it because so many people love it so much. And yes, I also really want to get more into Stephen King, so I'm really excited for it. And the next book is Mexican Gothic by Silvia Moreno Garcia. If you're not new to my channel, you've probably seen it already in the past in TBR videos. I don't know why I didn't read it until today. I think that it will probably be on my October TBR. I'm so ready to read it and I'm actually pretty happy that I didn't read it so far. So now I will read it in the spooky season, so I feel like it will be really amazing. This is basically an gothic horror historical fiction and we're following a young woman and thus my character gets a letter from her cousin and her cousin asks her for help and something just doesn't feel right. Honestly, I don't want to know too much. I just know know that the writing is really beautiful and that this is very atmospheric. And for me, my favorite kind of horror books are those atmospheric horror books. I'm also not sure that I ever read a gothic horror before, and I'm really excited to get to it. Also, this author released a new book this year, so I really want to read Mexican Gothic, so I can understand if I want to get the new one or not. But yes, I'm crazy excited for Mexican Gothic. I'm really hoping to love it, and I can't wait to read it. Now, the next two books are dark fantasy books, and I'm really getting into dark fantasy lately. I just discovered this genre. This is basically fantasy that it's more gloomy and more horror, just more dark than regular fantasy. And I just read dark fantasy in August, and it's currently my most favorite book of 2021, so I'm really excited to get to those two. The first one is The Mark of the Wicked by Georgia Bowers, and this is a debut YA dark fantasy. It's a new release. It was released I think in August, so it's really new. I really want to get to it and to know if I love it or not. But first of all, the cover is so gorgeous. Like, I'm obsessed with the cover. Definitely one of my favorite covers. But basically, we are following a teenager, and this teenager is a witch, but more of a dark witch, and she needs to hide her magic, and nobody can know that she is a witch. But in the start of the story, a new boy comes into school and he sees her while she's doing magic, so things are starting to get complicated. Now, I actually read the first few pages. I already said it in my book haul, but I really loved it because it felt really bizarre and really unsettling and atmospheric. Those kind of books that I really love, and I'm really excited to get to it. I'm really hoping to love it because it feels to me those kind of books that if I would love the writing, I would really love them. And the next dark fantasy is House of Salt and Sorrow by Erin A. Carrig. And this is a retelling of the 12 princesses, and basically in this story, in a manor by the sea, there are 12 sisters that are living together, but suddenly those sisters are starting to die one after the other, and we are following one of those sisters. Yes, I'm really excited to get to it. It's pretty hyped up. Like, I see it a lot. I also see it a lot on BookTok lately, so I really hope to love it. It's also really fluffy, so I think it will be really fun to read it physically, and I hope to get to it soon. And the next book is a YA horror that I'm really scared to read, and I want to read for so long, but I'm actually really intimidated. This is a book from an author that I already read before and I loved, and this book is You Must Not Miss by Katrina Leno. Now, Katrina Leno wrote Horrid, and this is one of my most favorite books of 2021. I love this book so much. It was perfect, and I especially love the writing, so I do expect a lot from You Must Not Miss. I'm not going to tell you what the story is about because I don't know and I don't care. I just want to go to it without knowing too much, but it's supposed to be a YA horror, and the main character of the story deals a lot with anger issues, I think, but I'm really excited to get to it. And I didn't go to it until today because I was really scared, but I think that spooky season will make me really want to read this book because it's the spooky season. This is just one of those books that I just hope will be one of my all-time favorite books. I expect so much, and I just really hope not to be disappointment, and I really hope to love it as much as I loved Horrid, if not even more. So I'm just really excited to get to it. The two next books are thrillers. I actually have two thrillers here. I was sure that I have one, but the first one is Legla by Colleen Hoover. Now, Colleen Hoover is one of my most favorite authors, and she writes mostly romance, but she wrote a romance thriller before in the past, Verity, which is one of my most favorite books, and this is her second thriller romance. It's also her newest release, and I'm really excited to get to it. I actually heard a lot of mixed reviews. A lot of people were disappointed from this book. I'm not sure what to expect, but I usually really love Colleen Hoover books and her writing, so I'm just trying to get to it not with high expectations, but I do really hope to love it as much as I love Colleen Hoover other books because I really love her. She's one of my most favorite authors, and yes, I hope to love it. And we're basically following the romance between Lila and another dude. I think that the whole story is told through his POV, but I can be totally mistaken about it. But strange things are starting to happen with Lila. It sounds really interesting, and I just need thrillers on my TBR for the spooky season. It just feels right. And the second thriller is The Maidens by Alex Michaelides. This is an adult thriller, and I'm pretty sure that this is Dark Academia, so we actually have another Dark Academia on this list. This is the edition in my native language, but I do think that the original cover is more beautiful. But basically, I read The Silent Patient, and I actually loved the idea, but in the end I gave it 3 stars, and I know that there is a lot of mixed reviews about The Maidens. A lot of people were really disappointed from it, and I think that this is the reason that I'm really interested to read it, because The Silent Patient was nice, but I didn't love it. So I'm trying to understand, maybe I will love something else from Alex Michaelides, because I did feel like in his writing there is a lot of potential and I felt like I could love it. I just didn't love the twist in the end, but I do hope to maybe love the maidens more. This is like in my native language. I read really fast in my native language. It's only 350 pages. It's pretty short. I feel like this is a good thriller if I want just something really fast. And yes, I hope to love it. Like, usually I have a lot of unpopular opinions, like a lot of books that people really love, I don't love, and a lot of books that people don't love, I really love. So I think it's a good sign that a lot of people didn't love this book, because maybe I will love it. But yes, I hope to love it. And now I have another YA horror book, a new release. Now I'm understanding that YA horror is one of my most favorite genres, because I just feel like YA horror is trying to be less scary and less gore and more atmospheric, which is those books that I really love. And this book is The Taking of Jake Livingstone. This is a very short book, and it was actually on my August TBR. I just didn't go to it, and I really want to get to it, but I'm honestly not sure what I'm going to think about this book, because yes, this is a YA horror, but from the story and from what I saw from the writing, I'm not sure how much atmospheric it's going to be. And basically in this story we are following Jake, and Jake is a teenager that sees ghosts, and basically this is his story about how he deals with it. And I don't know, like, I'm not sure how scary it will be. This is those kind of books that I'm not sure that I'm going to love, but I really want to give a chance, and a lot of time those books are the books that I end up loving the most. So I don't know, it's like really short. I feel like it's a good book to read between longer books, and yes, I just really wanted to get to it in August, and I feel like it's perfect for fall, so I really want to get to it in fall before the season will be over. And yes, hopefully I will love it. So yes, this was my fall TBR. Again, I have a lot of books that I want to read this fall. Some of them were on my September TBR, but those are the books that I feel like I want to read the most. Just a lot of spooky and scary and atmospheric books that I think are perfect for fall. I started to get into thrillers and horror books only this past year. Before that, I never read those kind of books, and I'm just trying to read more and to discover which books from those genres I love. I have high expectations about a lot of those books. I really hope to love them. I'm really wishing that they will be really fun and really good. And yes, I'm just really waiting to read them. Please tell me which book you want to read the most this fall. Basically the book that is on your priority TBR. And yes, I really hope that you enjoyed this video. And until the next video, which is going to be also in my fall special, you can check more videos by me. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye everyone!